Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes. But not for the reasons most people would say though. Like I kind of lean I'd say I'm more so in the middle on a lot of things, or more so left. I'm left on a couple of things. One of them would be women's rights. Uh, I don't think they should overturn Roe v. Wade. I'm also
Yeah, you support Donald Trump?
no, I do, but for money purposes.
What money purposes? So you put money over women's rights. So what money purposes?
No, see, here's the thing. I I think that a Roe v. Wade thing is should be up to the states, not the federal. It's not a federal issue; it's a state issue. Okay, that's where I disagree
So
with
you
that.
do think that Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
I personally think so, but what I'm saying
Wait, then
is it
why did you
shouldn't be
just
a
say that
federal
you
issue.
disagreed with? Why did you just say that you disagreed with it being
I think it
overturned?
should be a state issue, not a federal issue.
That's what overturning Roe versus Wade did. Oh my God, bro, are you okay? And also,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not in
okay.
support of women's rights. That restricts women's rights. You're saying women's rights should be left up to the states
I'm saying that I am in favor
of
either
putting
way.
women's rights up to the states.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That wait, do you
yeah.
hear yourself? Would you be okay with women's right to vote to be left up to the states?
No,
So then I'm confused. Why would you be okay with women's rights in this scenario being left to the states?
because I believe in small government, not big government.
I'm confused how it's bigger government for there to be federal protections prior to viability comparative to like certain states restricting women's access to abortion. Isn't that bigger government? That there's more government restriction,
Well, so
right? Wouldn't less
moreover,
government
hold on.
restriction and making it legal, right? Wouldn't that be less government?
But so here, hold on. So there's a few reasons why I would be pro-choice rather than pro-life. Okay,
Okay, if you're pro-choice, then why the hell do you support Donald Trump?
but but hold on, let me finish. So the reasons I'm pro-choice is not the same reasons as everyone else. I'm pro-choice for three specific reasons. One, if it puts the mother's life at risk, I think she should have the decision whether she wants to keep the child or her life. Two, if she's R word, I can't say that. I don't want to get you banned. Uh, if it's SA basically, and then the third one being that uh, basically SA, and then whatever the other one was. Sorry, my mind's blank. But anyways, my point is, if you have consensual
That's not
intercourse,
pro-choice. That's not
okay, but yeah,
pro-choice. That's not a pro-choice
exactly. I
position.
think it should be legal if it threatens the
He
mother's
said
life.
he was pro women's rights and then proceeded to describe a anti women's rights position.
It's not. It's not. I think it should be legal, and I think it should be up to the women.
Okay, so
So
you
that's
think it should be
women's rights.
legal and up to the woman, then you think it should be federally protected, that legal right, correct?
No,
Or
I think
actually,
it
I
should
have
be
a
up to
question.
the
Do you think
state.
human rights should ever be left up to the states?
Should human rights ever be left up to the states? It depends on the human rights. Because no,
Are
but
you
the reason
okay?
I say
What human rights are you okay with being left up to the states?
because here's the thing: what's defined as human rights, and not only that, but
Wait, I'm sorry.
geographically.
You defined it as a human right. We're using your language.
Okay, but it's what I'm saying is geographically, people are a product of their environment, and the same people that live in California do not have the same ideologies as somebody in
What
uh
does ideology have to do with anything?
because you're a product of your environment. You don't think the same way that I think because we were raised two different ways.
I grew up in a Christian conservative household in Iowa.
In Iowa, okay, but what I'm saying is in Iowa, people they don't think the same as somebody in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Is my point.
Okay, and
So why would something that's why would you say that something's a federal issue when in my personal opinion it shouldn't be? I think the less the feds are
Because
involved in
human
stuff,
rights
the
should be
better.
federally protected. Again, do you think women's right to vote should be left up to the states?
But see, I also think that
Wait, answer the question. Do you think women's right to vote should be left up to the states?
no, I
Why
don't think
not?
so because I believe that women should have the right to vote.
Okay, all
Just like
right.
I think they should have the right to
So,
do
so, so to clarify,
whatever they want with their
if
body.
you don't think rights should be left up to the states,
It depends on what rights.
okay, what rights are you okay with leaving up to the states?
What rights? The right for suffrage, guns.
Suffrage
Uh,
is voting. You said you're okay with leaving voting rights up to the states?
No. I thought you were saying federal. No. Yeah, that's a federal issue. For the states, I would say like anything involving schools, county roads, obviously whoever your governor is, taxes. Like in Florida, you have no state income tax, which is actually phenomenal. Uh, Stuff like that.
Well, one, you pay property tax. Secondly, you understand that they have to like increase sales tax in order to compensate that to pay for things, which is a regressive tax
Yeah, it's a
versus state
different
income
form of
tax being a
tax,
progressive tax structure.
but it's more of my money now. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know what you mean.
I think you're paying for it indirectly, or you're paying taxes either way. But what I'm saying is, on my commission check, let's say I make 15 grand, um, I don't have an extra 20% of that going to a state that has roads and school systems. I'd
Mm.
rather pay it on property taxes, which do go up, unfortunately.
And then get spent on the same things you just said were.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
also.
so the federal government, does a lot more than what you just said in terms of streets and roads. And actually, the bipartisan infrastructure bill was something that actually helped with that. But they also fulfill people's needs in terms of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, defense, like the protection. Right? That's you understand that all of those things are relevant towards federal expenditures, and that you're not going to be able to pay for them on a federal basis if it is the case that you changed policy to act that way.
See, but I'm a free market guy, and I also think that there's a lot of people that
How do you feel
abuse
about
this.
immigration?
Okay, immigration. Now, see, this is where I lean left, bro. I'll be honest.
So you're not
But
you're not a free market guy.
okay, but here's my point. I think that if you are here and you are working jobs that other people don't want to work, not only that, you can be working any job if
Wait,
you're
and what do you
employed.
mean you lean left? Can you tell me what you mean by you lean left on immigration?
On this issue, okay, for instance, I play Call of Duty, right? I've played Call of Duty with the same guy for 6 years.
Dude, I'm asking you
He
about
was
immigration.
he was here. I know I'm answering your question. He was here under the Dream Act. Okay,
Okay.
he was brought here as a 2 year old. He went through public school systems, and I was working offshore as a driller, living in the United States at 26 years old. He got deported last month, bro. He called me from a cell. I've never received a phone call from somebody in a holding cell. And he called me and said, "Hey, I need an immigration lawyer." I called an immigration lawyer. It was 20 grand for a 50-50 coin flip. Like, that's my homeboy. Dude, he's never been to Mexico in his life. He doesn't even have family there. All of his family's in the States. So he's been deported now. He's in Mexico. He has no money.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know that that's because of Donald Trump, correct?
I do. See, that's what I'm saying. I lean left
So,
on this issue. I think
no,
if
what
you're
do you mean?
here
What do you
and
mean?
you're
What
not
do you mean on this issue, bro? Wouldn't you be like, yeah, I don't want him to be removed from the country?
of course I don't. That's my homie. I would have
Yeah. So
paid
so
20
so
grand
then
for him to
okay. So
stay.
then would you do
But
you still support Donald Trump knowing that this would happen?
for tax purposes and money purposes and economy purposes,
So you
absolutely.
care more about the money and the quote unquote economy than you care about your friend?
What affects my day-to-day life more, my money or my friend? How do my bills get paid? Not by my friend. I know that
How
sounds
how how
heartless, but
does
I'm just saying,
how does Trump pay your bills more? It does sound
by
selfless, and
growth,
I'll show you how that
economic growth.
selflessness isn't even justified.
I'm just saying the
Selfless,
only thing.
selfishness. I don't know why I said
Yeah,
selfless. That was
no, you're good.
the opposite of
So I do lean
selflessness.
left on that issue. I think that if you're in the United States and you are what's considered an illegal alien, which I know that's an insensitive
Undocumented
term.
immigrant.
Yeah, undocumented immigrant. If you are here and you're not supposed to be here and you're not breaking laws, I have no issue with you being here. I think obviously, from an economic standpoint, if there's people here that are spending money, then that's growth. Anytime money's spent, that's growth in our marketplace and in our economy. So I have no issue with you being here and you're not supposed to be here. It's when you're
Wait.
breaking
Giving
laws.
undocumented immigrants a pathway to citizenship if they have not committed a violent crime or bad crime would help the economy. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I have no
Okay,
issue with that.
so
I
then
think
what's
the
the issue?
process
Is
takes
if you
long.
want to do what's best for the economy, well then it seems like you would hold a position that any undocumented immigrant in the country who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he said it'll take him like 9 months. But here's my thing. Yeah, I think the process takes too long, and I don't think it matters who's in office. Nobody, listen, there's
Wait,
checks and balances for a
Democrats
reason.
actively were advocating to do something about it, whereas Republicans are artificially putting limits in place to restrict people from going through the legal process.
Yeah, but here's the point. Here's the point, Parker. It doesn't matter because there's checks and balances. There's always going to be somebody to vote on the opposing side that's going to hang this up, and it's not going to happen.
What do you think
That's
checks
my
and
point.
balances
The
are?
two-party system's
What are
broken,
checks and
dude.
balances?
Checks and balances is the three branches of government.
So
Okay.
it's not just the three branches of government. It's the role in which they specifically play in order to keep each other in check.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So
But the
so
two-party system
and
exists for
what
nothing.
sets up
That's
that
my
what
point.
sets those roles? The Constitution, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Who called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution?
I can't answer that.
Donald Trump.
Okay.
If he called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, he's violated literally Supreme Court orders that were 9-0 in deporting Kilmar Abrego Garcia to an El Salvadorian prison against the determination of the Supreme Court. 9-0, right? He's violated it.
Yeah.
He's violated the Constitution in plenty of other ways. That's something
Yeah,
that
but
you
what
think.
politician hasn't though? This is
What
my point. I hate the two-party
name to me
system. I think it's
name to
so
me one time
divisive.
Kamala Harris has done that.
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know. But I'll say this, Parker, I think that 100% of politicians are bought and paid for by lobbyists. Okay. That's why I really don't claim a party. I will say this, my day-to-day life was better when Donald J. Trump was in office than when I had Joe
Wait, bought
Biden.
and paid for by who? How can you say that?
By lobbyists.
Okay,
Bro,
so
look at
so to
Ted
clarify,
Cruz. Look at Ted Cruz.
to clarify,
Did you watch Tucker Carlson's interview with
to
Ted
clarify,
Cruz?
can
Did
you
you watch that?
do you mean corporate lobbyists?
Dude, it doesn't matter whether they're corporate
Okay,
or
okay. So,
no.
wait, so can you define lobbyist?
Okay. Do you know what APAC is?
Yes, I'm asking. Can you define lobbyist?
A
Not every
Webster
politician is paid
definition?
by
No.
AIPAC. I just want to clarify.
No. I know that, but I'm saying you probably hate Tucker Carlson. Go watch Tucker Carlson's interview with Ted Cruz. He makes him look like a dumbass. Can't even explain.
I don't dispute that Tucker Carlson made Ted Cruz look like a dumbass. That doesn't mean Tucker Carlson's good.
I'm not saying he is or isn't, but what I'm saying is all these people take all this fun, right? Okay, for instance, let me give you a scenario. Let's say Parker is a senator, right? And I tell Parker, I say, hey, look, I want you to vote this way on this issue. And I have this $4 million home in Miami that I have right now. And I'm going to put this in your name, right? And then you'll be able to sell that for that money, okay? So that's me indirectly giving you money to vote a certain way that I want you to.
Okay, so you think so? By the way, you think every lobbyist does this? That's not every lobbyist, by the way.
No. Not
You don't know what
not
lobbying
every
is, but I
one
just
of them, but a lot of them do
we can base it
for
on
money.
like specifically what you're referencing. You're saying people give money to candidates in order for them to have a particular position. So you think every candidate does that? Okay, then
I would say
name
the
to me.
vast majority do.
Okay, well, name to me specifically in the cases of AOC, Bernie, right, or for example, Zoran Mamdani. Give me any person specifically that has bought them out. Name to me. Give me any
Let me
evidence.
give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. Nancy Pelosi. How much money does she make working
Can you
for
answer
the?
my specific question?
I can't give you an answer because I don't have a specific scenario, but I will tell you that if you look at anybody that is paid by our federal government on a salary position, how the fuck? How are you making $200,000 a year, but your net worth is hundreds of millions of dollars? Can you explain that to
Okay,
me?
okay. So I mean
Insider trading,
I
bro.
mean obviously if that is the case, you'd have to clarify whether or not they had that money prior to they got into that position, or whether or not it's because of the fact that they make money off of doing certain things.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. There's insider
So by the
trading.
way,
There's all
I just want to
sorts of.
clarify: you can't point to one or two people within Congress and be like, the entirety of Congress is this way now. You have changed the claim from the entirety of Congress to most people, right? And you have yet to even mention a specific person, right, other than Nancy Pelosi.
Dude, there's not a single person that works in Congress that doesn't have a net worth less than probably $10 million.
Really? So Bernie Sanders, AOC,
Bro, what are their net worths?
Bernie Sanders' net worth is like 3 million.
Besides the money in
AOC, it's
their
like
offshore accounts. Besides the money in their offshore
they don't
accounts,
have
they
any
don't pay
offshore accounts. What are you
taxes.
talking about?
Bro, come on. Dude, listen. Bro, do you know that I was literally speaking with somebody about this? Okay. I was at a poker table a couple weeks ago.
What evidence do you have? Can you give me any evidence?
I can't. I cannot do that. But I will say this: there's too many loopholes in our tax code for wealthy people, and both
Well,
sides.
so I don't dispute that there are too many loopholes. You know who adds more loopholes? People like Donald Trump. to help his rich buddies. If you think that
That's
you're going to have a better system because you
I don't
voted in
disagree
Donald
with
Trump
that.
for like the
I don't
tax
disagree with
loopholes,
that.
you're delusional.
But he makes, in my personal opinion, I'll just say this: I've been in the workplace since Donald Trump was in office, and while Joe Biden was in office, my day-to-day life was better in the 4 years Donald J. Trump was in office. And I'm
Okay.
just giving you
Okay. What
nonsense
years was he in office?
from 16 to 20.
Okay. So in 2016, it was good.
I'm not saying it was good or bad, and you're also just
You
going to
just said
say
it was good
you're
under his
setting a
administration.
trap.
I'm just asking. I'm
You're
asking.
setting a trap.
Wait, wait,
You're
wait. You
setting a
said it. You
trap.
said it
I'm
was
digging
good
you before you
between.
dig it.
You said it.
You're
Hold on.
saying
Hold.
that the
Let me clarify.
policies that
Let
were
me
made in
clarify. Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
all right, all right.
Let me clarify. You said it was good between 2016 to 2020, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2016, it was good, correct? I'm just clarifying.
I mean, I'm not saying it was.
So
I would say it was
what?
better towards the end of his term than the beginning. But yes, I understand that the
And
president's policies affect the next person's term. I do understand that. But what I'm saying is my day to day life was significantly better, and not only that, but
can I
sounds
respond?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know who was president in 2016?
Who's president
Obama.
in 2016? Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he turned it over to Donald J. Trump.
In 2017.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if it was good in 2016 already, then how did Trump make it good?
How did Trump make it good? Well, I would say that, in my personal opinion, he looks out more for the middle class than anybody.
Really, really name one policy he passed that looks out for the middle class.
Because he's a businessman, whether you hate him or not.
Give me one policy that Donald Trump has passed that benefits the middle class. Give me one policy.
Okay. Why did we shut down the pipeline? Why did we do that? How many jobs did we lose?
Are you talking about the
what was it?
XL pipeline? That was a Supreme
What
Court
was it?
order. Of course you want Donald Trump to violate Supreme Court
That was
orders.
terrible. The new Green Deal. What a waste of money.
The Green
What
New
a
Deal is
waste
not a
of-
policy that the Biden-Harris administration passed. You're delusional.
I'm not saying they did, but I'm saying he's trying to cut spending. It's basic math.
What
If we
spending?
cut
What spending? The
spending,
increased spending, specifically deficit spending
the
through the
condoms
big
sent
beautiful
to
bill?
Uganda, $5 million worth of condoms.
That you
spent-
just made that up. Totally made that up.
No. Look it up.
You
Look
want to
it up.
bet?
We sent $5+ million worth of condoms to
Wait,
Uganda
wait.
to prevent the spread of HIV.
Yeah. By the way, that wouldn't be a bad thing if it was the case. Can you please provide me a source for that?
I can't swipe up, but
No.
Google
Yes,
it.
you can. Yes, you actually can.
Wait, it won't turn it off. I don't know. I'm not a.
I won't be able to hear you, but you can come back, and then I will be able to hear you once you come back into the app.
Okay, but my point is,
He's
trying
not
to
going to
cut
do
the
that.
deficit. He's trying to cut the deficit by.
No, he's
cutting
not. The big
spending.
beautiful bill
Useless
adds to
spending.
the deficit. Did you know that the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget analyzed specifically the the Harris administration's campaign plans and the Trump administration's campaign plans? And Trump administration campaign's plan was literally $4 trillion more debt-related spending over the next 10 years compared to Harris's campaign plans. Did you know that?
But what you're not saying is, what about Harris's campaign? Whenever she misspent her campaign money and was in debt by the end of it,
Can you give me a source for
wasting
that?
her money
Give me a source for that one too, because that one there's no good evidence for
wasting her
either.
money
By the way, I
hold
just want
on,
to clarify:
wait,
there's no good evidence to support that claim either. Can you provide me a single source for that?
Bro, listen.
Look, this is his source, chat. I found his source. His source is
On-
right here. Look at this, chat.
on concerts.
Look at this, chat. Look at this. Look at this source.
Y'all missed the entire demographic. That's all I'm saying.
Diabolical.
It wasn't diabolical. All I'm saying
You
is,
are
I want
diabolical.
somebody no, I'm not. I actually agree with you on a lot of things, but what I don't play about is my money, dude. I don't play about my money. I work too damn hard. I work 70 hours a week to not keep
If
more money.
if a foreign government came to you and said, right, would you sell out the country for $40,000? Would you do it?
Well, okay, wait. What was that? So hold on.
Yeah, like if you would you sell out our country for $40,000 if a foreign government came to you?
Fuck no.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. You for $40,000. What about $50,000?
No.
What about $100,000?
No.
What about $200,000?
No.
What about $300,000?
No.
What about $1 million?
Maybe.
Okay, well you're not making $1 million from Donald Trump being president. So based upon specifically what you said you would vote based upon in terms of it benefiting you, it doesn't benefit you clearly enough to sell out your country for. Donald Trump called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. He threatens our democracy, our rule of law, right? Our core American values in terms of immigration, and yet you're sitting here saying that you support this guy.
So here's another thing. I feel like I had to vote for the lesser of two evils. Okay, and that's just my honest opinion. Now, the reason I'll say this is typically, besides the money aspect, the left has this crazy ideology that Ryan, which that is my name, Ryan has to pay for other people to live their day to day life. I have no problem with my money helping people, but here's the issue: they use and abuse the system, and there's no way to regulate it, and that's my issue.
There is a
That
way
is
to
my,
regulate it. We currently have a
but it's
process to regulate
impossible.
it, but I just want to let you know
But it's
you're
impossible.
complaining about your money going to help other people. Well, welcome to society. Welcome to society, dude. Did you just learn that you live in a society?
Where people sit on their ass, play the system, and
Who's doing
use.
that? What system
What do you mean?
specifically allows for you just to sit on your
EBT?
ass and do absolutely nothing?
Dude, what are you talking about? That happens all the time. These people play the
Where?
system.
What
Dude, they
what
have more kids on purpose so they get more money
so they're
and they are
doing things.
told.
So they're doing things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're told not to go to work because they can live off of the government for
Okay.
free.
So you want to
While I
increase the
work
child
for the
tax
government.
credit through the big beautiful bill, right?
To be honest with you, I don't I didn't even read the big beautiful bill. All I know
You know
is
the big beautiful bill through the tax or how about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act? Because the Tax Cuts and
not
Jobs Act
really.
increased the child tax credit. So do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think it's good for a middle class family, yeah, with three kids who both have jobs and barely are barely getting bills paid and live week to week or month to month. Yeah, absolutely. I think they should get more of a tax credit. Now, the person with seven kids who doesn't have a job and has seven different baby daddies, no. I think that's bull. I think they do it on
Dude,
purpose so they get more free shit.
who the is doing this?
Whoever, there's tons of people that do this, and not only that, but
Who?
they're paying people who aren't even
Who?
supposed to live here to do that.
Dude,
What are you talking about?
if you think most people that are on social services have is specifically a woman, only a woman under your view, by the way, right? Is only a woman that has seven different baby daddies, right? Like
That's a
what?
thing, bro. That's such a thing. I don't
What's
know if it might
no,
not be a thing where
no.
you're at, but that is dead
No,
ass a thing.
the only person that has led to that is someone like Donald Trump because he's a serial adulterer. You understand that, right?
That's outrageous. That I
Yeah,
can't
yeah. So how
I can't
about we
agree.
reference that his kids.
I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that, bro. Listen, he had money before he was even a
I just
president.
want to
Like
clarify.
he was
Wait, so okay, so it's okay when Donald Trump right causes there to be children with multiple baby daddies, but when it is
But he's
specifically
paying for
literally
them.
like
Is my point.
people who
He's
are
paying
in
for
need
them
when
though.
there's people who are in need right and are relying on social services, then you're like people shouldn't be able to get access to that.
No, I think that the people who actually need it should get it, and the people that are playing the
People,
system
wait, you're
for it
saying people who
shouldn't get it.
actually need it? How do you evaluate whether or not someone actually needs it?
That's exactly my point, Parker. You can't
Okay,
do
so if
that.
you can't, then are you saying no one should get it?
I would prefer no one get it than the people who abuse
Okay,
it.
so to clarify, you're saying that you'd be okay with cutting Medicaid, Social Security, Medicare, right? Food stamps, all of it.
I think Social Security should absolutely be cut. I think it's a fraud.
Okay,
It's
wait, no, do
literally
you
a
want to cut
fraud.
all of the ones I just mentioned?
I think access to healthcare for certain people, I think they should 100% have access to
But
health.
don't you think that people are just rigging and wasting the system?
But there are people that do that, and you cannot sit here and
Okay,
say that
so
people
then why wouldn't you apply the same reasoning that you applied in other scenarios?
because you can't. It's hard to pick and choose. You don't know who's
Oh,
actually being genuine and needs the help, and who doesn't, and who's playing the system. How do you know? You can't decide the two. It's
you evaluate
impossible.
based upon their ability to pay, right, for the services, whether or not they can get access to the services. Do they need it based upon whether or not they have access to it, whether or not they can get access to it?
But I think there's a lot of people who intentionally don't work to live off of the government.
Hmm.
Is my point.
Would you do that?
Because they're lazy, not because they have a disability, not because they physically can't work, not because they just got out of prison
Can I
and
ask you a
have three
question? Can I ask you a
felonies.
question? What social services would they get in order to be able to do that?
Wait, what do you mean?
What social services would they be able to do that without working at all?
Food, a
Nope,
living.
nope. There's literally work requirements.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe I'd have to do more research on it. Then. But I do know that there are people who play the system off of my hard-earned money.
Oh, for which systems? You don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's probably true.
How much more are you going to be paying in taxes, bro?
That's also a good question. I don't know. I haven't really seen. Also, my income fluctuates month to month with it being commission based. But yeah,
Yeah, you get taxed on a yearly basis, though.
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so then like, do you think you're really gonna like pay that much less in taxes because Donald Trump's president?
No, but I think that he. Here's another reason why I have my vote rather than the other side. Like I said, I think I was picking a lesser of the two evils anyway. But I
Yeah, but
think he
you
got
failed
my
to
vote
mention
for
how
this
he's the
reason.
lesser of two evils.
So here's why I'll tell you. Because for one, I think all politicians are bought and paid for by lobbyists
Yeah, you
and
provided no evidence of that. It's just straight to trust me,
now, I
bro.
might be a conspiracy. I might be a conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this: if I were running for a
I
position, and
might
you,
believe things with absolutely no evidence. I might get my sources from the
that's
Trust Me
true.
Bro
That's
book.
true. No, no, that's a valid point for you to say to me. I might be a conspiracy
I'm
theorist,
sorry, how
but
is that any different from the person down the street that literally believes that reptiles control the entire government? Please explain to me
because
how that's different.
the takes are two totally
How?
different,
How?
bro.
They're both based on no evidence and trust me, bros. If I believe
Oh,
that aliens control the government, how is that any different than your position?
all right. The difference would be the simple fact that if everything is controlled by money and dollar signs, okay, and just
That's
because
what that person said would say as well. Wait, by the way, did you just
can you see
discover
the
did
wind,
he just discover capitalism?
bro? Can you see the wind? No, you can't see the
Yes,
wind.
you
But
can
if
see
I
the
told
effect
you,
of the wind. Yes.
but, okay, you can see the effect of the wind, but you cannot see the wind. So my question is,
I don't know what you
just
mean by
because
you can you see well, I'm confused what you mean.
my point is, you're saying I have no evidence of the fact that all politicians are bought and paid for by BlackRock and all these companies that are black.
What type of business is BlackRock?
That's a good question. I can't even answer that. What do they do
Dude, I'm sorry. In order to be
besides buy
like,
shit?
in order to like believe things, you need to like reason it out. If you don't even know what it is, it's just a buzzword to you. BlackRock to you is just a buzzword. You don't even know what it is.